Are you tired of having AC leaks and having your condensate drain back up and flood everywhere? Stay tuned to this video and I'll show you guys how to solve that problem. Alright, welcome back guys. Today's a pretty cool video. I'm going to show you guys how to stop a common problem in your house when your AC drain backs up and it overflows and floods everywhere. We can solve that problem by installing something here, as you can see. It's called a float switch. And by installing one of these, you're going to solve a lot of problems when it comes to your AC leaking and flooding all over your floor and messing up your flooring possibly. So I want you guys to stay with me in this video and I'll walk you through the steps of how I installed one of these in my AC and how it's going to help you guys in the future and solve some of these leaks that come up from time to time with your AC. Before we begin, as long as you guys find this video and my videos helpful, please don't be shy. Hit that thumbs up button, give me a like, and if you want to stay informed, hit the subscribe button and the bell so that way whenever I put out new content, you guys can stay up to date with all the new stuff I'm trying to fix around the house. Before we begin, I want to talk to you guys a little bit of how this float switch works and what you can expect. It's a pretty easy install. It should take you at max half an hour, 45 minutes, but if you're a little handy around the house, it may take you even shorter. It's not that complicated and I'm going to show you guys step by step how to do it. As usual, I'll leave links in the description to all the stuff that I'm using and where you guys can buy it. And I'll leave timestamps as well so that if you guys want to jump to portions of the video, you can feel free to skip ahead or go back and watch things later on if it's helpful to you guys. All right. So the way a float switch works is, well, before we get into the float switch, the way your condensate drain works is most, if not all ACs will have some sort of condensate drain. And the way it works is inside your AC unit behind here, there's a coil. And as the air flows over the coil, water condenses and runs down the coils and gets into a pan that's at the bottom of your AC here. It's right above your filter. What it does is, as the water fills up and accumulates, it flows down this condensate drain and goes down to outside. You'll notice sometimes on the outside of the exterior of your house, there's a little PVC pipe and water is dripping. It's coming from here. Now what happens over time, if you guys don't maintain your AC and change your filter, what ends up happening is algae will build up inside this and it will make the hole smaller and smaller and smaller until the water doesn't escape down this condensate fast enough. And what it does is it builds up in the drain pan over time. And as the drain pan gets full and full, the water has nowhere to go but leaking out the sides of your drain pan, and it falls underneath your AC unit onto the floor. So a lot of times people put buckets under their AC. It's very common. People put it under there to catch excess water if this happens. But if you're not paying attention, the bucket will fill up and it will flood all over your floor. In comes the float switch. The way this thing works is it's a backup for the water that comes in here. So as water fills this up and it's getting to the top of your drain pan, it will flow out of a PVC pipe into here and it will fill this little thing up. And inside of your float switch, there's a little stopper. Let me see if I can show you what it looks like. Okay. I don't know if you can see this, but there's a stopper in here. And as the water fills up, this thing moves up and up until it triggers a switch. And what this switch does is it kills the power to your AC unit. And when that happens, your AC shuts off and there's no more water accumulating, so there's no more leaks, which tells you, hey, there's something going on with my drain. I need to clean my drain. And that will stop the leaks and prevent you guys from having a mess from time to time. Yes, it's an inconvenience because your AC is off, but if you have expensive flooring, wood floor or something like that, it's a better alternative than having to rip out your floor or having warped floorboards. So if you ever look on your AC, so if you ever turn to your thermostat and it's blank and your AC is not running, chances are your float switch has triggered and it's telling you, hey, you need to clean the drain or you need to clean the drain line. So now let's go ahead and I'll show you guys how to install it and save you guys a bunch of money with not having to deal with damaged floors. The first thing we want to do is we want to locate our condensate drain. And if you notice, just to the right of your condensate drain, you're going to find another drain hole. Sometimes it has a plug located next to it, like this one. If it does, just unscrew the plug, pull it out. Sometimes it's actually a plug where you need a pair of pliers. If it does, you just take the pliers and you pull it out. Once you've done that, you can now take your float switch and you separate it into two pieces. One piece is going to be the actual float switch and the other piece is going to be a PVC adapter. Take the PVC adapter, and if you have some Teflon, put the Teflon on, and then you screw it into your AC unit in the drain plug hole. Once you've done that, next you take a pair of channel locks or pliers and you tighten up the PVC adapter until it's nice and snug. Once it's done, nice and snug, you're ready to move on to the next step. The next thing we want to do is turn off the breaker to our AC. This is either on the front of your AC unit or at your breaker panel. Once you guys have the breaker turned off, we're going to want to remove all the panels on the front of our AC, and these are just held in place by a bunch of screws located all around of your AC panel. Usually it's a 5/16 or a 1/4 inch socket that you need. So if you guys have a drill, just put on the bit and go to town. Let's loosen all the screws all around your front panel. Take off the top one, the bottom one, and once you're done with that, you can set the panels aside and you're ready to start the installation of your float switch. Now that you have your panels removed, the next thing you want to do is you want to take your float switch and press it onto the PVC adapter that you had. And now we're going to take our wires and we're going to try and snake them behind the panel that is on the front of our AC unit. Usually there's a little slit in the side. You can just feed the wires through and then try to snake them behind the unit all the way up to where the wires are behind the motor of your AC unit. Once you've snaked all the wires up there, it's time to make the connections, and after that we'll be done. Now let's get to the fun part. You want to locate the red wire coming from your thermostat. Usually this is connected to another red wire coming from your motor. Once you've located these wires, you're going to separate them. Usually if they're held in place by a wire nut, you just loosen the wire nut and separate the two wires. Now, coming from your float switch, you're going to have two wires as well. What you want to do is you want to connect one wire to one of the red wires, tighten it up with a wire nut, then connect the other red wire coming from your thermostat to the other end of the float switch. Tighten them up with a wire nut as well. And once you're done with that, the next thing you want to do, and the final thing, is you want to tuck away your wires, zip tie any wires so that they're not dangling. And once that's done, we are ready to start the reassembly and putting back on our front panels. Now that we're done with our wiring, the final step is to put back on our front panels and turn on our breakers. Just like we did when we removed the front panels, we're going to take all the screws, put them back in, attach the top panel, attach the bottom panel, make sure our screws are nice and tight. And once we're done, the final step will be to turn on our breaker. Either on the front, if you guys had it on the front, you flip on the breaker on the front. If not, you go back to your panel and you turn on the breaker for your AC panel. With all that complete, you're now done with the wiring of your float switch, and you can pat yourself on the shoulder to a job well done. Welcome back, guys. I hope that was pretty helpful. As you can see, I walked you guys through the steps to show you how to install one of these float switches in your AC unit. Once you guys have it installed, you can have a little peace of mind knowing that, hey, I have a fail-safe in case my condensate drain gets backed up. It's going to help protect my flooring from leaks in the future. If you guys found this helpful, don't forget, give me a thumbs up, smash that like button, and share it with your friends. Until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video.